Let's talk more about that self-worth iceberg because it's so deep. I can totally relate to this as well. At the core of so much of our fears is that you're not enough or like I'm not worthy, I'm not loved, or any fear around that. How do you help people work through that? Right? They recognize that they have these fears and these patterns. I think awareness is the first step, but then what?
Awareness is the first step. And I think 90% of people are still operating above the surface of the iceberg. So getting very, very curious when you are triggered by something, where is that coming from? And understanding, like, I have kind of these different layers that I think about. Is this societal and like how society is framing me and how I think I should be showing up? Is this generational and part of my family lineage? I come from, a family that didn't have a lot of money growing up. And so if I'm triggered by something, is it because it's coming from that? Am I trying to prove that I can do something just because of where I came from? So I keep kind of going through, is this about my lived experience in my own trauma? Am I operating from, I had this one therapist one time use this kind of weird analogy, but it helped me. She was like, throughout your life, you make a stew inside of you, and the stew is just there. And someone comes along and they like turn up the broiler and they didn't add to your stew, but it just starts to bubble over. And you're operating or you're responding from all of the stew that other people gave you. And for me, like, that's so real because I went through a really pretty bad divorce, and now getting married again, I have to constantly check myself and say, am I actually upset at this moment about this specific thing? Or am I bubbling over from years past and I'm pattern matching? So it's just getting really clear on these different layers of where it's coming from and trying to isolate it to say, what am I actually reacting to? And does the size of my reaction match the actual thing that's happening? And I think that that's always a helpful reframe for me.
Yeah, that's helpful. And when you're working through this, do you like journaling or what's the ways that you work through?
I mean, I'm a writer, so I write constantly. I write all the time. I'm a big advocate for writing, just getting things out, like non-judgmental, just letting your brain go. I'm also just a huge proponent of having an independent third party who doesn't have a horse in the race to talk to. I think we could have best friends who love us so much and we love talking about our stuff with. I have like 3 really close friends that I probably talk to at least once a day, but like, if not, we're very involved in each other's lives. And still, I make sure that I am not processing things with other people. I allow myself to process it on my own or with a therapist and come to them with the thing. And luckily, I'm with someone who also is a believer in therapy and goes to therapy. And sometimes we'll hit a moment where we're like kind of like maybe missing each other. And we'll both be like, you know what, let me go process this and come back to you when I can fully share the so what. Like, I'm feeling a lot of feelings, but I can't process it right now with you. And so I think that separation and finding your preferred method of processing so that you can come back to situations and talk in need statements instead of just saying, I feel this, I feel this, I feel this. Okay, the second step is a need statement. In the future, I need X, I need Y, and being able to get there and say, can we meet in that place?
Yeah. It's better to like figure out process it on your own and then come back when you have the call to action. Like,
yeah,
this is what
exactly.
I need.
Literally.
Instead of just like going back and forth with feelings.
I think that this is really important. Most arguments are actually one person saying, I feel this, I feel this. This person saying, I feel this, I feel this. This person's not feeling validated or heard, so they just say it louder. No, I feel this, I feel this. When really what's happening or what should happen is person one goes, I feel this. Now the next person says, okay, what I'm hearing is you're feeling all of these things when I do this. And in the future, you'd like me to do that. Now person one feels seen, validated. Their amygdala can calm down and they can start working from, the place in their brain that has logic and reasoning. And then person two can then say, okay, now my turn. I feel this when this happens. Okay, now you validate them. But that's really hard to do in most situations. Everybody's just trying to feel heard.
Okay, I want to go back to this topic of ambition because there's a lot of, I think most everyone has experienced burnout. What is your book or what do you have to say on the topic of burnout?
I've been there. For anybody that's experienced a panic attack, I was one of those people that twice in 1 week found myself in ERs thinking I was having a heart attack when it was sure enough a panic attack. And burnout truly comes from a place where you don't allow what I call a spin cycle. Okay, so if you think about a washing machine, the last part of a washing machine cycle is called the spin cycle. It runs really fast to get all of the heaviness out of the clothes before they go to a dryer. Think about how many times in your life you say the phrase, if I can just get through to this date, things will slow down. And then when that date comes, you blow right through it. And you're just like, well, no, if I can just get to this date, things will calm down. So in the book, I talk about the concept of a spin cycle and how you need to run it and plan it. Now, a spin cycle is just an intentional period of time that you are bringing out the heaviness of the season, the chapter, the time before. And I talk about mini spin cycles, what that needs to look like in a day. So let's say you have a busy work day and you go straight into a date or time with your family and you didn't run a spin cycle. Chances are you are showing up in the same intense, stressed out state that you were in from the day. So I talk about like different ways to honor the transition between those different parts of yourself throughout the day. That's in and of itself a spin cycle. But I also believe in spin cycles every month. Are you taking 1 to 2 days where you step away from everything and to check in with yourself to say, is this still in alignment with what I want? Is the movie going in the direction, or do I feel a character is off screen that I need to bring in? And then I really do a monthly spin cycle to look at the next month and say, gosh, I have a few needs that are not being met right now in this current way I'm living my life. It's time to write in that crazy girl that needs a night of dancing. Oh, it's time to write in this girl hasn't had a lot of sex this month because she's been so stressed out. Like, I need some moments for pleasure. And you get more intentional. And then I think spin cycles can be bigger. I have had 3 bigger spin cycles in my career where I look at work and I say, okay, I've been driving 90, 100 miles per hour. I'm going to drive the speed limit. I am just going to pay the bills and I'm not pushing towards anything. And I allow myself a season of just living my life and not living for the next goal. And I think those spin cycles, both in the micro, in the day-to-day, those moments of transition between, in the months to months, and then those bigger ones in the seasons of life, because life expectancy, like, we're starting to live longer, and like with the AI and how everything is going, like, who knows how long we're going to live. You can't push for 40, 50 years straight. You have to say, like, this isn't a year that I'm going to prioritize other things over work. It may not mean you can't work, because like me, I have bills to pay, I have kids, but I don't have to drive 100 miles per hour. I can just drive the speed limit, and that's okay too.
Yeah. What I love is the intentionality behind it. I feel like most people, they're go, 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 but then life kind of forces them to slow down, whether
Yeah.
it's burnout or something happens. It's almost like we don't make the time to take the break unless we have to. It just makes so much sense what you're saying is like you have to carve in those moments that in your day, in your week, in your month, in your life in general to like really intentionally be slower.
Yeah. And I think naming it has helped me. It's like, oh, I'm feeling really heavy right now. I need a spin cycle. I
Yeah.
need to alleviate this heaviness.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think it's really important when we're going so hard, we have all these shoulds. Oh, I should rest. I need to decompress. I need to brain rot. I need to sit on the couch all day. And those are great. But if you're not setting intentionality around them, you just kind of end up laying on the couch while it's kind of half working and then looking at things that you're like, oh, I should really be doing that hobby I keep saying I want to do. And all of a sudden, the cognitive rest didn't happen. The physical rest might have. You laid on the couch.
But you felt guilty the whole time.
Your cognitive and emotional rest were MIA.
Thanks so much for listening to the Lavendaire Lifestyle. If you like the podcast, please show your support by leaving a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can also subscribe to our podcast YouTube channel at youtube.com/Lavendaire Lifestyle and follow our Instagram at Lavendaire Lifestyle. Sending you so much love. Bye.